Never a quiet time here at Aggborough then, Colin, and just looking back at the last month or 5 weeks or so, another busy period for us.
Yeah, certainly last week we'd identified the player that we wanted, but unfortunately circumstances changed. I was fully aware of Joe. I went to watch him myself up at Salford, and still watched him here. We quite liked him. Great reports on him from people within the game and people who work with him, and so we decided that he was the one. He fitted our profile with regards to young and hungry, and so he's the type that really can take us forward. I'm really pleased that Joe signed, and we're very happy that we had the resource to be able to go and press the button and make it happen.
And of course he didn't have to go and prove that on his first night at Tamworth, but he certainly went some way to doing that, didn't he?
He did, yeah. It was a great start for him, and it was the first of many, hopefully strong forward steps for him to help us to become what we think we can become.
And one or two people obviously expressing concern about, I wouldn't say a delay, but there was certainly a length of time when the crowdfunder was collected to when it was ultimately used, but that was because, as you say, we were looking to make sure it was used properly, and that's what we did.
We needed to make sure it was used properly, and that the person that we wanted was available, and we didn't just jump at the first option. So and in the meantime, obviously, we'd signed Josh Azwali permanently, and we brought in Daniel Enti, and then obviously with Joe, and now with Josh Webb, and with Manny as well. So we've brought in players that some of whom gives us a chance to have a look at with a view to next season, and some of whom we've secured for next season and beyond. So we're looking at all eventualities in case we lose players in the summer. So we need to be aware of good replacements now.
And the crowdfunder proved to be the difference between, we talked about not being a cash-rich club, at best being a stable club, and as such we were able to pay a transfer fee, whereas without the crowdfunder we wouldn't.
No, I agree. It was important to have that available to us. It's no secret that cash flow is tight this time of year, but I didn't want to get to a position at the end of May and think if only. I think we've taken that step now. It does give us a different option, which we needed, and the opportunity that if teams want to come and press us so we can't play out, that maybe we can play a little bit longer into someone who can get hold of the ball for us, and we can get the other side of their midfield. So teams are kind of trying to put pressure on us and stop us playing out, which great. Now we can go the other way if necessary and see what they do. If they want to stop Joe, then we can play out from the back. If they want to stop us playing out, we can play up to Joe. So it gives us another option.
And just a note on the last sort of note on things on the pitch, if you like. Are we finding a little bit of momentum at just the right time? Because the lads deserve more than they got at Fylde, and probably got what they did deserve at Tamworth.
Deserve more than we got probably at Brackley, at FC United, and definitely at Fylde. That was an unbelievable performance, and just strange, disappointing circumstances at the end of the game. But then we scored in injury time at Tamworth. So when all of us felt, oh no, here we go again, and it was lovely to pop up with that goal in injury time and give us a much deserved 3 points, because our performances away from home, as the manager's been saying, have been good, very good. But we were lacking that cutting edge.
Moving on in terms of personnel, you spoke when we did our last interview saying you were hoping to tie down the management and a couple of players. You've managed to tick that box, and as you
management, yeah, players agreed. I think in principle now, bloody dealing with agents. What can you do? Agents are ruining the game. So we're getting there. We think we'll be over the line with a few next week, and we know. In the main, I think we're going to get a great response from all the players. They really enjoy playing here. I think it's helped them, and they're not daft. They see that, and it helps when we're all on the same page. We play the way that suits them and allows them to showcase their own talents. That's the whole point of playing the way we do.
We're talking in advance of the game against Harrogate here. The home form has been good. There's a little bit of a buzz around the place and in and around the ground about tomorrow's game. Hopefully a good crowd in as well.
Hopefully a very good crowd in. The weather's going to be great. The football will be great. We're looking at the pitch now, and it's as good as it's looked for months, weeks. We've had a very good growing weather, and the ground has been superb, and he's right on top of it. It looks brilliant. So it's a great surface for us, and we will play the way we play, and I want the fans to come along and see Joe and support Joe, because it'll be great to see him firsthand. Although we had enough there on Tuesday night, which was brilliant. The reaction from the fans when we scored, and they were absolutely superb. So, I think we could give Joe a proper Harriers welcome tomorrow, which would be he deserves it, and I'll give everybody a lift.
Tough game because they're banging form as well, but that should make for a good game as well.
Yeah, they're a tough team. We had a very, very tough game at their place, and they're a tough team to play against. As most teams are. There are no easy games. There are absolutely no easy games in this league. I think the top 7 or 8 in this league would comfortably hold their own in the league above. I've no doubt about that whatsoever, and that's just not from experience last year, but we've watched a lot of games at the league above this year, and I know we'd comfortably hold our own, if not higher. And I know that there's a lot of teams with a lot of resource in our league that would comfortably hold mid-table and higher position in the league above. I think that the two leagues have become a little bit distorted, because it seems to me that a lot of teams in the league above set out their stall not to get relegated, and they've stagnated, and I think the league stagnated. I don't know what you can do about that, whether you can shake it up, but there's a lot of very ambitious, some very young, ambitious football clubs that would be a credit to the league above and make it far more competitive and far more attractive to watch. I think that the money in the league above is so important to some clubs that they set their stall out to survive, and that football that's played becomes very stifling, staid, boring, predictable. And I think there's a lot of young, bright managers, coaches, and not so young football clubs, because a lot of very established football clubs like Stockport, like Halifax, like Darlington, like ourselves, the young ones on the blocks, obviously Salford, these clubs I think have got ambitions to be in the Football League, and they just want the opportunity. And I think that the whole system at the moment is stagnating, and I think that it needs a shake-up. Now, if we compare our league to the league below, all we can go on is probably Ebbsfleet, who we made look very, very ordinary. So I can't say what the state of play is in the south, but in the north, I know there's a lot of very, very ambitious clubs, bright managers, coaches, and boardrooms. I think that they all want to be in the league, but unfortunately, I'm just looking at the league above, and it's dull. It might be being controversial, but that's unusual for me. But it's dull, and I think it needs a shake-up. I think they should promote 6 clubs out of this league into the league above, and really make it something to watch.
That would be something.
It would, but they won't do it, because it's forever thus, and we survive. But they won't shake it up. I'm not saying, listen, you've got to earn promotion, and I'm not saying that we want to be given things. But I think there's 6 clubs at least, maybe even 8 clubs in this league that would be a fantastic addition to the league above, because all of those clubs want to actually go on and achieve league football, whereas I think the majority of teams in the league above want to survive, and that's not very healthy for the product that people watch on a Saturday afternoon.
Just a final point on business here. We've talked briefly again in your past interviews about the 5-year plan and that sort of robust document that's coming together. It just gives a quick update on how things are there.
Business plan's done, 74 pages long, 20 odd revenue streams, and now it's a case of implementation, getting it out to people that want to support us, that we want to take with us, and shaking everybody's thought process. Some people actually within the organisation as it stands at the moment, but we have to understand that if we were to try and survive on gate money and pints of beer, we would probably just about compete with Stourbridge. That's a fact, to survive. So if that's what we want to do, then fine, I'm okay with that. I won't be here, and other people can take over, and on we go. But there's a reason why 70 odd non-league clubs have folded and failed and then had to fight back, big names, and that's because they've relied on gate receipts and pints of beer. And you know, the pints of beer we were drinking, we were making a loss on that as well because of the deal that we did with the brewery, which was absolutely horrific. And so we've heard the complaints about the beer and all the rest of it. We're trying to put that right, but put it right in a way that actually, do you know what? It'd be a good idea if we made some money rather than gave it back to the brewery because we were on a deal that was just absolutely and utterly ridiculous. So, we will not survive, we will not thrive, we will not achieve our ambitions by just being gate receipts and pints of beer. And if that's what people want, you know where I am, come and give me a big check, I'll clear off and you can take over. But if we want to get into this football league, which is what we all want to do, then we have to change our approach. We have to become a business, we have to become a successful business, and we have to take bright, forward-thinking, innovative people with us. I don't mind the other type of people, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that they're all dinosaurs. What I'm saying is they've got a different approach than I have. So that's fine. But this club was in an absolute mess. And we was trying to put it right. So, everybody can think about, well, what are my intentions and everything else. My intentions are to get in the Football League with a team that can sustain Football League, and if it falls back down, can do it again and go again and go again. But we are not reliant on revenues from the football pitch to sustain Kidderminster Harriers. That is a recipe for disaster that so many other football clubs have gone down.
But with that way of thinking, there's no upward limit, is there, necessarily?
No. Your limit's how big's your imagination, how big's your ambition, how big's your drive, how much are you looking forward to getting into work to make things succeed. And that's the key. People in this building working to make it thrive. Not people who turn up on a Saturday, who sit on a committee and make decisions about the football club, and it's not their livelihood. When it's their livelihood and they know what goes on every minute of every day within this business, then they should have a say. But if you're not actually in 40 hours a week, 60 hours a week, however many hours we all do, then I don't think you can really understand exactly what the business is, and therefore I don't think you can have a positive effect on that business.
I mean, it pays my bills, it keeps you awake at night. It needs to be that kind of investment, doesn't it?
It's an emotional investment. It's absolutely an emotional investment, but that emotion is driven with the need to succeed, the need not to fail, the need to build something that we're all very, very proud of.